Karen's voice could shatter glass, but the bayou didn't care. It just sat there, murky and unbothered, while she screamed about her water like she'd personally bottled it from Eden. On a humid Saturday morning, the air thick with the scent of swamp and sweat, I stood at the edge of Bayou Lafourche, my fishing rod dangling lazily over the water. I've been coming here since I was a kid, when my dad taught me how to cast a line and wait for the tug of a catfish. This place was public land, a slice of Louisiana's soul, free for anyone with a rod and a little patience. But patience wasn't in the cards today, not with Karen waddling toward me, her floral dress flapping like a warning flag. She was a sight, all 300 pounds of her, with a face that looked like it had been practicing disdain since birth. Her name wasn't really Karen, but it might as well have been. She was the self-appointed queen of the local HOA, notorious for terrorizing anyone who dared park a truck an inch over her invisible lines or plant a shrub she didn't approve of. Today, though, she'd set her sights on me, a 20-something nobody just trying to catch dinner. "You," she bellowed, her voice slicing through the hum of cicadas. "What do you think you're doing in my bayou?" I blinked, my line bobbing in the water. "Your bayou? Ma'am, this is public land. Been fishing here since I was 10. Her eyes narrowed, and she planted her hands on her hips, her gold bracelets jangling like a rattlesnake's warning. "Don't you sass me, boy. I'm on the HOA board, and this water's under our jurisdiction. You're trespassing." I almost laughed. The absurdity of it claiming a bayou like it was her backyard pool was too much. But the way her face reddened, veins bulging like they were about to pop, told me she wasn't joking. She was deadly serious, and that made it worse. "Ma'am," I said, keeping my tone even, "the state owns this bayou. I've got a fishing license. I'm not breaking any laws." She stepped closer, her flip-flops squelching in the mud. "You think you're so smart, huh? I've lived here for 15 years. I know every inch of this place. You're polluting my water with your filthy rod." A few yards away, an older man fishing with his grandson turned to watch. The kid's eyes were wide, like he was witnessing a superhero fight. I wished I felt that excited. Instead, my stomach knotted as Karen's voice grew louder, drawing more attention. A woman walking her dog paused, her phone already out, probably recording for the neighborhood group chat. "Ma'am, I'm just fishing," I said, reeling in my line to avoid escalating things. "No need to make a scene." "A scene?" she shrieked, flinging her arms wide. "You're the one making a scene, trespassing and ruining our pristine ecosystem. I'm calling the authorities." I sighed, setting my rod down. "Go ahead. Call them." She smirked, pulling out her phone with the confidence of someone who'd never been told no. She dialed, her voice dripping with smug satisfaction as she reported an illegal fisherman disrupting her bayou. I leaned against a cypress tree, arms crossed, wondering how my quiet morning had turned into this circus. 10 minutes later, a park ranger pulled up in a dusty pickup truck. He was a lanky guy, mid-40s, with a no-nonsense look and a badge that read, "Our Landry." Karen rushed toward him, her voice hitting new octaves as she recounted her version of events, how I was vandalizing the bayou, endangering wildlife, and defying her authority. Ranger Landry listened, his face unreadable, jotting notes on a pad. When she finally paused to catch her breath, he turned to me. "Son, you got a fishing license?" "Right here," I said, pulling it from my wallet. He glanced at it, nodded, and handed it back. "And you're fishing in designated public waters?" "Yes, sir. Been coming here for years." Karen's face twisted. "That's irrelevant. This bayou is under HOA oversight. I have the paperwork to prove it." Landry raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, I've been patrolling this area for a decade. This bayou's state property. No HOA has jurisdiction over public waterways." Her jaw dropped, but she recovered quickly, puffing up like a bullfrog. "That's nonsense. I've got documents at home, legal documents. This boy's breaking the law, and you're just standing there." The ranger's patience was thinning. "Ma'am, I need to see those documents. But I'm telling you, this bayou's open to the public. He's got a valid license. He's not doing anything wrong." Karen's eyes darted between me and the ranger, her outrage morphing into something desperate. "You're siding with him? A nobody who's probably just here to litter and scare the fish." I couldn't help it, I snorted. "Scare the fish? Lady, you're the one screaming loud enough to wake a coma patient." The onlooker with the dog stifled a laugh, and even Ranger Landry's lips twitched. Karen's face went purple. You think this is funny? I'll have your name, Ranger. And you, she jabbed a finger at me. I'll make sure you never fish here again. That's when the tide turned. Not the Bayou's tide, but the kind that comes when someone's arrogance digs their own grave. Ranger Landry's voice went flat. Ma'am, are you threatening this man? I'm promising, she snapped. I'll file a complaint with the state, the HOA, the governor, if I have to. Landry scribbled something else in his notepad. You know, ma'am, filing a false claim against someone's a serious matter. Could lead to fines, maybe even legal action. Karen froze, her bravado flickering. False. I'm protecting my community. Your community doesn't own this Bayou, Landry said, his tone final. And from what I've seen, you're the one causing a disturbance. I suggest you head home before this escalates further. The onlooker's phone was still up, capturing every second. Karen noticed, her eyes narrowing. You're filming me? That's an invasion of privacy. Public land, ma'am. The woman called back, grinning. No privacy laws being broken here. Karen's hands clenched into fists, and for a moment, I thought she might charge the woman. But then she turned back to me, her voice low and venomous. This isn't over. You'll regret this. She stormed off, her flip-flops slapping the mud with every step. The Bayou went quiet again, save for the soft ripple of water and the distant hum of cicadas. Ranger Landry shook his head. Some people, he muttered, then nodded at me. You're good to fish, son. Just don't catch her attitude. I chuckled, picking up my rod. No chance of that. But it wasn't over. Not quite. Word spread fast in our little town, and by Monday, the neighborhood group chat was buzzing. Someone, probably the dog walker, had posted the video, and it was glorious. Karen's meltdown, her wild claims about her Bayou, and Landry's calm shutdown were all there, racking up likes and laughing emojis. The comments were brutal. HOA Karen strikes again. Does she think she owns the moon too? A week later, I got the real kicker. A buddy who worked at the parish office told me Karen had actually tried to file a formal complaint, claiming I'd trespassed and harassed her. She'd even produced some half-baked HOA document that didn't hold up for 2 seconds under scrutiny. The state hit her with a $500 fine for filing a false report, and the HOA board, embarrassed by the viral video, quietly asked her to step down from her leadership role. I went back to the Bayou the next weekend, rod in hand, the water as calm as ever. The wooden signpost by the bank had a new addition, a handwritten note, scrawled in marker. HOA Karen freaked out over me fishing in the Bayou, screamed it's hers, got fined for false claim. I don't know who put it there, but it felt like justice. Not the petty kind, but the kind that reminds you the world doesn't bend to one person's ego. Karen's story could have ended differently. She could have walked away, let me fish, and gone about her day. But she chose to fight a battle she couldn't win, against a Bayou that didn't care and a kid who just wanted to cast a line. Her arrogance was her downfall, and the Bayou, in its quiet way, had the last word. The end.